Hello and welcome everybody to 1964. Just off the top of my head, I'm thinking about the 60s. What went on in the 60s? JFK with his famous German, "I am a jelly donut." MacGregor, on the other side of the pond, was working on making persimmon woods. Okay, so this is the MT series. This one happens to be the MT3 or the M3TW. We'll talk about all of that here in a minute. So golf in the 60s, people say, and they always compare it to the 50s. You know, it seems like every time I turn around, it's life was better back in the old days. Well, maybe, but maybe not. Maybe they made some very viable clubs. And maybe, here's the other question, and I talk about this on this channel before, senior flex and clubs designed for seniors seem to fit me very well, and I can hear all of you just hammering away on your keyboards right now. That's because you're an old geezer. Yeah, probably. Maybe that's where my life is headed. So let's embrace that rather than fight it. So the M3TW MacGregor. Let's go have a closer look. So with most MacGregors of this era, easy to recognize the 1964 tourney over M3TW. This is called the rocker sole, and the 3 is the flex of the shaft. So this is kind of, my understanding is kind of the senior flex. The TW, if it's WH, it has the rubber grip. The TW is supposed to be the leather wrap grip. 4 screw sole plate, MacGregor, 1 wood. So even though it's a 3, it's a 1. Sometimes I still get, I see the M3, I'm like, oh, this is my 3 wood. And I'm like, no, wait, it's this huge one right here. Yeah, it's my driver. You can see the shaft right here, a little bore through the sole plate, a little bit. Pinned, you can see it looks like a flathead screw in there. The serial numbers right here. You can see the whipping is coming off. It's already been out on the range. It's normally you don't want to hit a persimmon with the whipping missing because it supposedly, my understanding, is it can start cracking very easily if you don't have that whipping. Let me know if that's a myth, but that's my understanding. So this needs some new whipping. As we spin around the skirt here, you'll notice the weight in the aft portion. And since this is a senior flex, I have no clue what the loft is. You can kind of see here at address. It seems to present a lot of face, in my opinion. I like this. This is not a decal. It looks like this is stamped. It feels like it's stamped in. And let's see if we can get some glare on here. It feels like it's stamped in and paint filled. That's what it seems like anyway. And then we have the key sight insert, the white insert with the red key sight. Again, you can see that rocker shape right here. I think most famous on their fairway woods of the time. 4 screw face insert. Pretty interesting. And I didn't see any decals on the toe. Moving up the hosel. The whipping right here. You can see some bag wear on the shaft. Really thin stepped shaft showing some nice wear. 1964, I just label my clubs so I can keep track of it. You can see the 3 right there on the shaft. So kind of more of the senior product out there. And you'll notice this doesn't have a leather wrap grip. It's been re-gripped, it appears, with a rubber grip. And maybe my understanding of the W at the end and the WH is incorrect, but either way, we have this MacGregor Golf Pride grip up here. So this brand new was running $26 and change, roughly $27 new, which is like a quarter of the price of the M1TW. So take that for what it's worth. Like I said, this has already been out on the range. Let's roll that footage. So you could see from the footage, I hit this pretty straight. I was hitting it a little high on the face. Man, this string, I just want to just rip that off and whip it back into shape. I get distracted. So on the range, it's fine. This is a functional club, good. It feels good, even with the senior flex shaft, okay? Now, here are we need to address some things. Let's just move right down the line. Is this better or worse than the 50s clubs? I don't have enough data. I don't have enough experience to say that. I hit this better than some of the 50s era MacGregors. This is the M3, so it's the senior, it's the smaller head, not the M1. So I would feel less confident trying to adjust lofts and weights and everything on this than I would with like a larger headed club. But as it is out of the box, or in this case used, it's fine. So perfectly gameable, and like I said, I can't pass judgment as to is it better or worse than the 50s club. Is it something that I want to put in my bag? The 60s weren't my era, so nothing really jumps out at me as like screaming in my face, this is the must-own club. What did Jack Nicklaus play? Maybe Jack Nicklaus kind of has an edge there, but like I said, I wasn't one of those boys who was watching Jack Nicklaus, or the, John F. Kennedy giving a speech about how we're going to get to space, That wasn't my era. So for me, this is kind of a placeholder until I find something that I do love. But as a placeholder, if this finds its way into my 60s set, this could easily make memories. So I might have memories with this club, and then all of a sudden I might love it, and there might be that emotional connection. Sometimes you have to work to build an emotional connection with the club. So we'll see what happens with this. Stay subscribed. You may see this again. I'm tempted. I'm always looking at, I have a complete set of Walter Hagen 60s clubs. I wonder if this will sneak into that bag. Is that sacrilegious to play some Wilson-made Walter Hagen irons and putter with MacGregor wood? I'm sure people did it back in the day. I am going to tear this string off. It's really bothering me. I'm going to re-whip this. Do you guys want to see that? Does anybody care? Maybe I'll make a video if anybody cares to see that. About re-whipping an old persimmon. Whip it into shape. If you want to support the channel, you can always visit my Amazon shop in the links in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I am The Vintage Golfer.